At this time, I'd like to call upon the Very Reverend Dr. Stan Mackay, Cree Elder, to bring an opening blessing.
In Cree we say, Kakino and Wako Magina, which means all my relatives. And I offer prayers this night with great gratitude for your engagement with Loraine MacKenzie Shepherd as family. Our primary prayer is Nanaskumun. I give thanks. So I offer now a prayer for our gathering. Agisema to aganasian. Inanaskumach nuskagisigag. Kajamamuyak. Eganatak aski. Eganatak pematistiwen. So any menan, so any menan. So any menan, so any menan. Pesipedov diach. Tamiskamach. Minentamuin. Tamiskamach. Pehtagenemuin. Tatogisiga. Pewichewenan. Pewichewenan. Egus. Your Honor, it's wonderful that we can gather in this way.
And now I would invite Her Honor, the Lieutenant Governor, to provide greetings.
Thank you, Reverend Mackay. Thank you. It's lovely to have you here at Government House and to see you once again. It's a great pleasure. Premier Canute, I'm delighted that you're here with us this evening. Thank you very much. Reverend MacKenzie Shepherd, it is indeed an honor to be here to honor you tonight, and we look forward to the evening's events. Thank you all for joining me today as we celebrate our common ground and our shared visions. As Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, I'm pleased to welcome you to Government House, here in the heart of Treaty 1 land and in the homeland of the Red River Métis. In this province, the present day and ancestral home of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Dakota, Dene, Inuit, and Métis peoples, we have been on a long journey of understanding for many generations. In our work today toward reconciliation, we are learning from the teaching of elders and knowledge keepers as we seek to build a better Manitoba for everyone. Since 2010, the Lieutenant Governor's Award for the Advancement of Interreligious Understanding has recognized the work of individuals and groups in sharing wisdom and finding common themes in humanity's ancient quest for meaning. This award has recognized efforts to bring together people from many of the world's faith traditions, Christian, Jewish, and Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, and Sikh, and the many indigenous spiritual traditions of Canada. Past recipients of this award have helped Manitobans to see that around the world and for thousands of years, we have all been asking similar questions. What is the purpose of life? How do we live a good life? How we connect with others, either present or through the memories of loved ones, and how we connect to this beautiful world. In pondering questions like these, we carry on a tradition that is tens of thousands of years old. Even our Neanderthal relations may have asked questions like this, judging by the archaeological evidence. And though this may be an ancient quest, as we see in the headlines every day, it's an urgent one. As wars, open fault lines, and as social media works to widen those gaps, it's more important than ever to spread the word about the values we share. For more than 30 years, the Reverend Dr. Loraine MacKenzie Shepherd has worked to bridge and bring together people of different faiths, cultures, and racial backgrounds. Many of you already know about Reverend Dr. Shepherd's many contributions of interreligious understanding, and you will hear more shortly about her remarkable career. I will just note that she has indicated that she wants to share the credit for her accomplishments with her former congregation at Westworth United Church. To me, that's just not an indication of her character and values. It's a reminder that the search for wisdom is truly a collective shared experience. Congratulations once again, Dr. Shepherd, Reverend Dr. Shepherd, and the community of Westworth, many of you who are here today. And thank you all for your commitment to understanding. I'm so pleased to have so many of you here tonight. Thank you, merci, miigwech, and shalom.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would now call upon the Honourable welcoming Premier of Manitoba to provide greetings. Sir.
Your Honor, twice in one day we got to do events together in public.
It's true.
It is an honor, and thanks for letting us come over to your house, as we were just
Always a
reminded of.
pleasure.
Your Honor, and all the wonderful, distinguished invited guests here this evening. I just want to say a haumatakiapi, which is Dakota for greetings, relatives. And I think thematically that invocation is the way to begin. So Reverend Stan, I appreciate your words of invocation. And I'm wondering what I'm doing up here looking at all the wise people in the audience here who I've turned to for advice over the years from different walks of life and different faith traditions. And so I just want to take this opportunity to commend and acknowledge on behalf of the province of Manitoba the very important work of the Reverend Dr. Shepherd. Congratulations on a personal level for this award. It is a significant award being bestowed by her honor. And the work of bringing Manitobans together from different walks of life, from different cultures, from different faith traditions, from different religions, is significant. We know that far too often we find reasons to be divided. And I think people in our society, in our province, are hungry for us to find reasons to be united again. Especially after these past few years, things have been so divisive. And so for someone like you to do this important work, to bring people from these different backgrounds, from Christian, and Muslim, and Sikh, and Jewish, and other faiths together, to have Anishinaabe and Cree people join in the conversation to talk about justice, truth, reconciliation, insight into the human condition. I think that's how we get it done. That's how we bring people together. So congratulations on this honor. From my perspective as the leader of this administration at the provincial level, we share that belief that we are one province. We have many different experiences and traditions that we enjoy seeing in one another, but we choose to live here together as one people, as one Manitoba that has one shared destiny. And so I really want to commend everyone here in this room for participating in the proceedings tonight, because not only are we honoring the Reverend Dr. Shepherd, but by you showing up here, you are reaffirming your commitment to this interfaith dialogue that all of us are engaging in these days. So once again, congratulations on a personal level. I want to again thank Her Honor for bringing us together in this great way. And again, just to say thank you for everyone who's engaging in this process of intercultural and interfaith understanding. Merci. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Premier. At this time, I would like to call upon Mr. Payam Tofik, President of the Manitoba Multi-Faith Council, who will also be in greetings and take over as Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all here tonight. My name is Payam Tofik, and I'm the President of Manitoba Multi-Faith Council. I bring greetings on behalf of MMC to our host, Her Honor, the Honorable Anita Nettle, the Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba. I also bring greetings to our Premier, the Honorable Wab Kinew, our award recipient, Dr. Loraine MacKenzie Shepherd, and all the distinguished guests that we have here present tonight. We gather here tonight to celebrate the service of an individual who has worked hard to bring people and communities together. The essence of collaboration and building community through faith and culture is the core and spirit of this award. These days, we are witnessing more than ever that forces of disintegration and integrations are challenging humanity in every corner of the world, the likes of which mankind has not witnessed before. Although this disintegration brings so much destructions around us, we're also witnessing new and innovative ideas and approaches that improve, that modify, and transform old institutions to create a fresh path forward. We are learning that our diversity is not a means to oppose each other, but could be celebrated to create a richer and stronger community. The vision of MMC is people of diverse faith working together to build a just and caring society. This event tonight is a clear step in that direction, celebrating a bridge builder, a person who has brought many diverse faith communities together over her career. Her nomination attests to this celebration of diversity. A minister of the United Church being nominated by a rabbi to a board with representatives of the Buddhist, Muslim, Christian, Baha'i, Jewish, and Sikh communities. And finally being honored in this house, the government house, the house of the people of Manitoba. If we think about what I just mentioned, it would have been hard to imagine this event taking place even a few decades ago in our city, Winnipeg. On behalf of the MMC, I thank Her Honor again for offering this award and inviting us to her house, to the government house. At this point, I would like to introduce my colleague and friend, Richard Barronins, Chair of the Community Relation Committee of Manitoba Multi-Faith Council, who will provide us with a brief history of the award and outline the nomination process. Richard, please.
Good evening, and congratulations again to Reverend Dr. Shepherd. In 2006, in Montreal, Anthony Monsieur, then director of the Canadian Centre for Ecumenism, approached Dr. James Christie, who was then the Dean of the Faculty of Theology at the University of Winnipeg, and he's seated with us today. And he said he had an idea for promoting interfaith dialogue. At the time, Professor Alberto Maloney from the University of Bologna was visiting Canada at the request of the Turkish government to promote his edition of the Holocaust Journals of John the 23rd, who as papal nuncio in Turkey during World War II, made many efforts to rescue European Jews from the Nazis, and in fact arranged for many of them to be smuggled into the British protectorate in Palestine. So Mr. Mansour believed that this tour provided a great opportunity to not only honor the late pontiff, but to celebrate in each city the achievements of a Jew, Christian, and a Muslim who had contributed to interreligious understanding in their community. Mr. Mansour suggested the possibility of expanding the three-city tour, Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto, to include Winnipeg. Dr. Christie enthusiastically endorsed the idea and then approached the Honorable John Harvard, then Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, to present, as the Queen's representative, plaques to the selected recipients here in the city. An ad hoc interfaith advisory group was convened to propose names for the first award. In October 2007, plaques were presented by Mr. Harvard to Sandy Hyman of the Jewish community, Dr. Assad Khan, a Manitoba Muslim, and to Ms. Frida Lalibhari, a Roman Catholic. The concept was so well received that the ad hoc committee constituted itself as the Community Advisory Committee for the Lieutenant Governor's Award for the Advancement of Interreligious Understanding. In 2017, the Honorable Janice Fillman approved a new institutional home for the award committee, the Manitoba Multi-Faith Council. Now in 2024, Her Honor Anita Neville continues the annual celebration of this important award and allowing the Manitoba Multi-Faith Council to remain as the institutional home of the award committee. Some of our past recipients of this award include Bill Weissman, Reverend Bill Millar, John Longhurst, Michelle Aziza, Maju Loda and Ray Dirks, Devon Clunas, Reverend Karen Toole, Rabbi Dr. Neil and Carol Rose, Lloyd Axworthy, the late Dr. Reverend Mukbel, Dr. Atish Chandra Maniar, May Louise Campbell, and Zane Azalis. Nominations for this award are welcomed each year from members of the public. The criteria and the nomination forms are located at the websites of the Manitoba Lieutenant Governor as well as on the Manitoba Multi-Faith Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. At this point, I would like to ask Rabbi Khalid to come and introduce this year's recipient.
I think we were supposed to turn these off, but I have some notes. Your Honor, I hope.
It's okay.
Just want to make sure I find it. I know Loraine is very patient, so it's really an honor to be here. As some of you just heard, past recipients include people named Rabbi Dr. Neil and Carol Rose. They happen to be my parents. And though they couldn't be here, they send their greetings. And I was thinking this last week on our Sabbath on Shabbat, in the Jewish community, we read the portion known as Parshat Yitro, and in it, we read the Ten Commandments. We read the Ten Commandments. And number 5, of course, is honor. Okay, I won't test you anymore. Honor your father and your mother. And so it's with that in mind that I offer just a statement from my parents, who first of all say Mazel Tov. And they said the following: we hold dear the precious moments we've shared with you, Loraine. My mother is recalling especially the time you helped Shahina and I come together during one of the more tense and threatening moments in Israel and Palestine. Ours was truly the only appropriate response to the suffering we all were experiencing. 3 women of faith holding hands and joining hearts in prayer. And I believe those prayers were received and answered. There were, in fact, some promising and peaceful years following that moment. But it was you, Loraine, who brought us together. You had this intuition, and you understood that that's what was necessary. Over the years, I've developed my own friendship with Loraine, and I wanted to capture it in this particular way. And it's very personal, and so I'm just going to talk to Loraine, and the rest of you can join in listening. But as I mentioned before, in the Torah reading we read from Parsha Yitro. Who is Yitro? Well, in English, he's often referred to as Jethro. Who was he? He was the father-in-law of Moses, the greatest leader that the Jewish people ever have known. And this very same man who is outside of the Jewish community, he is a Midianite, you might recall. He is the one who advises Moses on how he should perform as the primary leader of the Jewish people. A people who were leaving slavery, a people who were at moments difficult. I don't think you ever experienced that when you were a minister. But his advice to Moses was so necessary. What he says to Moses is lo tov, this isn't good, the way that you are handling your leadership. And what you need to do is you need to delegate. Now, in the 21st century, we use that all the time in business and in the nonprofit world, but it was Jethro who invented that whole concept. Who was Jethro? Let's take there are all sorts of names for him that are in the rabbinic tradition. I'm not going to give a long sermon, it's just about 15 minutes. But Jethro is referred to in the Torah and the Bible as Kohen Midian. He is a Midianite priest. And there was one medieval rabbi who said, take a look more carefully at the word Midian, because if you reapply the punctuation of the Hebrew, and for those who don't know Hebrew, just trust me, I think on this one you can trust me. If you reallocate the vowels in such a way, what it reads is that Jethro was the Kohen, the priest, Midin. He was the priest who came from a place of justice. Your Honor, I'm getting the right to worship, honor. You talked about justice. For all of you who may be new to the world of Loraine, MacKenzie Shepherd, that is what she emulates in all aspects of her life. Not only as a minister, not only as a multi-faith leader, but I could say as a friend and as a former neighbor. She and Nancy epitomize what it is to operate, to live a life filled with purpose and with justice. And I can't think of anyone more fitting for this award at this particular time than my friend Loraine. And if I skip out on all the other honorifics, you'll forgive me. I'm so proud to be here, and I can't mention the individual's name, but I want to thank her for prodding me and insisting that I nominate Loraine. And without further ado, I'd like to call you up.
So I'm going to read this citation that has been prepared for Loraine here. The Reverend Dr. Loraine MacKenzie Shepherd, recipient of the Lieutenant Governor's Award for the Advancement of Interreligious Understanding. In recognition of her important service to the citizens of Manitoba. Loraine's welcome of different faith traditions has created trust in a world of difference by working with people of other faith traditions. She has helped to build a just and caring society, thus has embodied the purpose of this award. The Honorable Lieutenant Governor.
Wow. This is quite the experience. Your Honor, distinguished guests, I am deeply moved to receive this award. Thank you, Rabbi Cleo Rose, for surprising me with your nomination call that one day in August. I'm humbled by the selection of the Manitoba Multi-Faith Council and grateful for the patience of Payam Taufik and Deanne Dworka, wherever you are. Where are you? Deanne. Just stand. I'm going to name just a few. Just to stand. Deanne and Payam, they have endured my never-ending questions. Thank you. You have put so much work into tonight, you would never believe it. But tonight is not just about me. This award is an honor that I share with so many people who are here in body and or in spirit, who have all worked so very hard with me on so many interfaith projects. Thank you to Peter Sim, who is recording there. He's from Westworth United Church. And he will be making this recording available on the Westworth's website, should any of you want to look at it again. If any was not able to be here, they can see it on Westworth United Church's website. The following tea time tableaus will portray a few of my relationships with those who have inspired me and taught me about interfaith solidarity. The first, well, you've had a little tease about it already from Cleo. It was about 20 years ago, I believe. I'm not quite sure of the year, around then. And that also was a time when the air was thick with tension. Conflict in the Middle East was creating rifts between Jewish and Muslim communities here in Winnipeg. Walls were being built and allies were choosing sides. But I found myself in the company of two audacious women of faith who dared to reach out across religious divides. Now, Carol has told how she thought this happened. I actually didn't think it was me. I thought it was Shahina. Because, Shahina, could you stand, please? You are, she doesn't want to. Okay, well, she's right there, okay. Shahina invited Carol and me to her house. And there, as we sat around the table sharing tea, a cup of tea, we did pray together. And we would like to think that our prayers had some effect on the Middle East. God only knows. But for sure they had an effect on me, because what happened that day to me is that momentous occasion catapulted me into a passionate commitment for interfaith solidarity. And so I'm indebted to both Shahina and Carol, my beloved mentors, my sisters, and, well, who also forgave, and forgive is a continuing verb, my many blunders. If you do interfaith work, it is a guarantee that you will step into a number of unfortunate blunders. And you count on the grace and forgiveness of your colleagues to stay with you. And Shahina and Carol never give up hope in justice and peace for here in Winnipeg and around the world. I don't know how you do it, because sometimes I feel like giving up hope. But I look at Shahina, I look at Carol, and they continue to have hope when it seems impossible. Both of them have recently been sharing with me heart-rending prayers and songs for peace. If they can do that, well then, the rest of us can. Teacups nestle again into hands, this time around the campfire. Paddles rest against canoes, safely overturned for the night as stories and laughter fill the air. Elders Stan and Dot McKay have been paddling companions with me and my beloved life partner of 37 years, Nancy Pinnell. Nancy, whose comfort, encouragement, and wisdom have kept me going through disappointments and upsets. Stan has guided me on many challenging occasions as I have learned how to sit in a sharing circle and listen to some difficult stories. Now, picture tea being poured en masse for 100 to 200 people who came to Westworth United Church for our annual multi-week interfaith dialogue. Our interfaith partners at Central Mosque, Etz Chaim Synagogue, and Manitoba Buddhist Temple also hosted some of these sessions. We were astounded at the consistently large number of people who came from across Winnipeg to every session, every year, hungry to learn about other faith traditions and consider how we collectively can respond to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action. As treaty people, we were trying to figure out what that meant for us. And so I'm incredibly grateful for the large number of volunteers from Westworth who have put in countless volunteer hours to make this miracle happen. And they are represented tonight by members of Westworth's outreach team. And I'd like all of you from Westworth, with humility, seated yourselves at the very back, even though you came near the beginning, to please stand. Reverend Tricia Gerhardt is also with them, but she didn't stand, but should have. More recently, I have shared tea and food with Bridge, a group co-founded by my new Palestinian friend, Izzadeen Hawamda. Can you please stand? Bridge seeks to offer a safe space for dialogue and compassionate listening, especially in polarized contexts such as Israel and Palestine. I've been inspired by Izzy's untiring visits over tea that have helped to build bridges of friendship across formidable barriers of faith. So these tea time tableaus are only a snippet of so many more I could describe, and I see so many more individuals with whom I've shared tea and maybe some other drinks. I could go on, but I'll leave it at those as just representative of so many other amazing relationships that I have learned from. They have all taught me valuable lessons about interfaith solidarity, and I'll name just a few of them. The first is a lesson of compassion and wisdom. I believe that faith communities are uniquely positioned to lead the wider community into peace and reconciliation. If each faith community can tap deeply into the heart of its faith, it will connect with sacred compassion in which every faith tradition is rooted. It will also be able to tap into that underground stream of wisdom that flows beneath all of our faith traditions. Listening and speaking from the heart will give us empathy for those with whom we may disagree. A couple of months ago, here in Winnipeg, a Muslim boy came home from school and asked, "Daddy, why are they calling me a terrorist?" And at the same time, some Jewish families in Winnipeg were taking down public symbols of their faith because of threats. Our faith traditions teach us how to hear these tragic stories of fear and hate and respond with compassion to each and every one. They teach us how to, quote, listen with ears of the heart. Our faith traditions give us wisdom in how to speak out against racism, against anti-Semitism, against Islamophobia, against homophobia, against transphobia, against many other types of xenophobias. How to say no to every single act of violence and human rights violation. With prayerful hands that can gently tuck beneath the protective and justifiable anger to hold the underlying pain and trauma. Particularly in times like these, it seems impossible. But tonight, here we are, miraculously all together, drawing on long-held bonds of friendship that allow us to stand together in solidarity. We are here, we made it. We are sitting together for the first time since early fall. The simple truth is that we need one another. We are stronger together through God's grace. I believe we can be examples to the wider community that another world is possible. Well, the second lesson that I've learned draws us to a non-binary third way. When we draw deeply from our common well of compassion and wisdom, we will better be able to hold multiple truths at the same time, and to resist the us-them binary thinking, especially in the heat of the moment. Interfaith solidarity can only happen when we are equally concerned about violence and human rights violations on every side of a conflict. Divine nudgings will urge us to reach across the divides of an increasingly polarized world and dare to connect hands and hearts. The law of three suggests that in the midst of oppositional positions, a third creative option can arise, leading to a third way. I've learned a third lesson that points us to the guidance of traditional Indigenous teaching. Elders Stan McKay and Ted Fontaine have taught me how circles of healing and reconciliation can help communities resist the tremendous impulse to demonize those who have caused harm. These circles can help us sit in the fire and have difficult conversations. To date, my interfaith work has coalesced around a united commitment to truth and reconciliation with Indigenous communities. And it is for this reason that I ask that Elder Stan McKay offer our blessing today, our opening blessing in Muskego Cree. And why I asked, and you'll shortly be hearing her, Oji Cree singer and actor Keely McPeak, to sing a song tonight about a child running away from a residential school. Our interfaith groups have worked very well together in our joint work on truth and reconciliation. But we're having trouble now. Perhaps this is a time to invite Indigenous elders with their traditional teachings to guide polarized faith communities in circles of healing and reconciliation. This just might be a third way out of our current impasse that deters interfaith gatherings. At my retirement service and program at Westworth United Church, Stan surprised me by saying, near the end of his remarks, that my interfaith work is not finished. I was ready to hang everything up, but actually probably not. Well, dare I, Stan, reverse that to suggest that perhaps your work as our elder is also not finished. Lastly, the fourth thing I've learned is that things always go better with a cup of tea. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. MacKenzie, very much. And now if you'll bear with us for a very minor set change. Thank you for your patience. At this time, I'd like to introduce our entertainment for this evening. As Dr. MacKenzie Shepherd mentioned, we have with us this evening Ms. Keely McPeak, a Winnipeg-based singer and actor with a bachelor's degree in vocal performance from the University of Manitoba. You may, perhaps recently, as I did, had the honor of attending her honor and seeing her at the Centennial Concert Hall as medicine woman Marie Serpent in Manitoba Opera's production of Liqueur Léal's Heart of the North, or as Wapum in Manitoba Theatre for Young People's recent 8-month national tour of Frozen River. Joining Keely this evening is Winnipeg-based pianist and coach Lisa Rumpel. She is an active member of Manitoba's art scene. Lisa's vibrant and varied freelance career has included performances with Flipside Opera and Art Song Collective, the Little Opera Company, Manitoba Underground Opera, Manitoba Opera, Women's Musical Club of Winnipeg, and Winnipeg's Contemporary Dancers. Please join me in welcoming to the stage.
Hello everybody. I am so happy to be here today to honor Loraine and for Lisa and I to share this song with you, which I'll just give you a little bit more context on. It comes from the musical Children of God by Corey Payette, and the musical follows an Oji Cree family who is affected by residential schools. And in this song, the young Julia is pleading to the God that they have taught her to believe in there to take her pain away. Forgiveness I can't defend. Pray for forgiveness to come an end. And